Dan and Kev's Wrestling Talk Show. Today we are going to be reviewing Monday Night Raw, the Raw after what was a great Money in the Bank.
Yeah.
A lot happened. There's a lot for me and Kev to get our teeth stuck into. So let's get cracking, mate.
Monday Night Raw.
First of all, I want to say, in my opinion, that's at least 2 years where I'd say that was the best Raw.
Yeah.
In at least 2 years.
Yeah, at least. It was just it sort of had everything. It had the feel. It had the excitement. I don't know whether that was just because of the fans were back. It just felt like fresh and just something, some energy there, if you know what I mean. It was something about it.
Yeah, it was. There were things that really wound me up. There were things that they did that really, really wound me up. But at the same time, I found it really enjoyable. I was on the edge of my seat, enjoying every single second of it. The way that you should be when you're watching a good wrestling show. You should be into it.
Yeah.
Obviously, Monday night kicked off with Mr. Cena.
Yeah. Yeah. With an empty, with someone coming out. I couldn't see it, but yeah. No, but yeah. Once again, good promo. I don't know why he turned up on Raw. I don't know whether that was just to boost the numbers coming up on Raw, because he said, he's there not to get another title, but to kick the arse of Roman Reigns. So
yeah,
and then nice little moment there at the end with Riddle and Cena as well.
I actually wrote that down. I think it's great. I think it's great that Cena endorsed Riddle. There's been a lot of things floating about Riddle. He's a dick and people don't like him, and and no one wants to work with him. Well, he's been endorsed now by Randy Orton and John Cena, so he can't be that bad, can he?
No, exactly.
And he's immensely talented. We didn't actually mention it because if you've not seen our review of Money in the Bank, it's on this channel. Go and check it out. But it was like it was about an hour and 20 minutes. So and there were things that we had to miss off because of time. But I didn't even mention it. Riddle, Rick Boogs, and Shinsuke singing Randy Orton's theme music backstage. Oh my god! Yeah, it's when the camera pans around that Owens is there, like, "Fuck are you doing?" Yeah, brilliant. It's Cena. Cena is one of, if not the best at crowd control. Having him in the palm of his hand, doing exactly what he wants, is the GOAT. Is the absolute GOAT at that.
He came out and done the Too Sweet thing as well, which someone's pointed out. That was from when he was part of the NWO in the Firefly Funhouse. And the interesting thing, I think I posted it to you. Someone put up a thing. Is the Fiend controlling John Cena?
Yeah,
I think that's a really good point on it all.
It's certainly interesting.
Yeah,
it certainly throws up a couple of interesting points. I think it's I mean, I can't see it, if I'm being honest. I can't see that, but
never know. Yeah, exactly.
Well, first of all, stranger things have happened, and it'd be cool.
Cool. Oh yeah. Very. Yeah.
If it doesn't happen, we've got John Cena, which is cool anyway. If it does happen, then you're not gonna get any complaints out of me. I'll tell you that. But yeah,
very cool.
Yeah, that promo was. I'm not going to call it a great promo. I'm going to call it a John Cena promo.
It was a fan hype promo. It was to get the fans shouting and really invest, sort of thing. It was nothing more than that, really.
No,
other than the fact that he said he's come back not to win another title, but to kick the arse of Roman Reigns.
I love the. I've come back for one reason. I've come back for a couple of reasons. One of them is all of you, the fans. The other reason, Roman Reigns is an asshole.
Yeah. Yeah, and he's going to get his arse handed to him, is what he actually said as well.
Yeah, I mean, I really hate being the bearer of bad news and breaking people's hearts, but we know he isn't winning the belt at SummerSlam. He can't anyway, because a few days after SummerSlam, he's over here in England filming a film called Argyle, and apparently it's a 2-month-long shoot, so he physically cannot win the belt. So obviously that's kind of it's the only thing going into it that is a bit shit, is that we know that he can't win the belt, because for all the shit that he gets, I want him. I think he deserves to be 17-time champion.
I'm wondering whether the match will be for the title or not, because he actually said in that promo, it's not for a title. It's not to have another title opportunity. It's just to kick his ass. So I'm wondering whether it'll be a non-title match.
That'd be interesting. Yeah. Because then Cena can beat him.
Yeah, exactly.
I think there's so many ways that they can go with this. And he said he's going to be on Friday Night SmackDown as well. So he's good. I mean, there was absolutely no reason for him to be on Raw, but it got the fans going. And you know what? He for the last God knows how many years, every time he does show up, it is half of them are chanting, "We love Cena," and the other half are chanting, "Cena sucks." Yeah. You know, he gets as many boos as he does cheers, because people, you know, it is, you know, hustle, loyalty, respect, and never give up, and, you know, his mottos that are there to, you know, try and teach kids, you know, the right way of, you know, growing up and stuff. Adults hate it, kids love it. A lot of adults that don't have children hate it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah,
but this time there were no boos, was there?
No. I think someone pointed it out. I think someone on Twitter, I think, pointed out or Facebook. I can't remember where I saw it. That said, I think it's this is the first time that John Cena's appeared in front of a crowd and no one's booed him.
Yeah, because and I'm glad that no one booed him, because everyone understands we don't know how much longer we've got Cena for.
Yeah.
You know, this match at SummerSlam against Roman could be his last ever match. Who knows? You know, but not all the time do people announce the retirement and then, you know, like Undertaker. Undertaker obviously announced his retirement and he's rode off into the sunset. But what usually happens is, like, The Rock. The Rock never actually announced his retirement. He just stopped turning up because he had other things on.
I'm sure we'll see him at some point. I'm sure he'll be back.
Yeah. Probably at SummerSlam. I think they'll probably bring The Rock back. But don't be surprised if Vince pulls his main card, Undertaker. We hear that gong. Yeah. Vince will, to get the fans back on side and get the viewerships and ratings up, he will 100% bring his main guy back, his main attraction. Because why wouldn't you? It's not. I don't think he's going to have a match. I think someone will be in the ring talking shit. You'll hear the gong. You'll get goosebumps. The crowd will go nuts. He'll do his, what would you say, 45-minute long entrance or something? About 45 minutes? All right. Yeah. He'll walk down to the ring. He'll chokeslam someone, and that's it. And that's all we need from him now. Because if he turns up once a year, twice a year at most, and don't announce it, it's a surprise. The fans are always gonna love it. So, yeah. Riddle and Viking Raiders versus AJ Omos and John Morrison. Oh, sorry. America's Most Wanted.
Yeah. What a t-shirt, right? So they just released a t-shirt that says Moist Wanted on it. America's Moist like what was, even I think the commentators were like, what? And they were laughing as well at that.
Yeah.
But yeah, the match itself was a fairly good match, decent match. I like the bit where Riddle sprayed Omar's, and then he thought it was the Miz, and then chased him down. That was brilliant.
All I wanted was almost to just tip Miz out of his wheelchair. That's all I wanted.
Another thing cost them the match. Goes into next week. Next week there's a rematch for the Raw Tag Team titles, which I think
Raiders.
that's when the Raiders will win that. Yeah, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, a good match, good back and forth match, especially coming off of John Cena and that. So.
Yeah, I think it was a very, very good match. It was a very good opening match of Raw. Yeah, you could see that Cena really liked Riddle as well. You could see that it was a genuine, bit of a bro hug in the ring. It clearly likes him, and if Cena likes him, he's clearly not that big of a dick as what people are saying he is. So, but. Yeah, I thought it was a good match. I thought all of them looked great apart from Omos. Omos looked his usual self, just clumsy like a big oaf. And yeah, I think the Viking Raiders will win the titles next week. But mate, him spraying Omos with that dripstick and throwing it to Miz's lap. Yeah. Miz, do you know what? Miz does things like that so well. He does things like that better than anyone. It wasn't me. I swear. It wasn't me. I promise.
Bruno, yeah. And started trying to go up the ramp as well, trying to wheel himself up.
Oh my god, yeah, comedy gold, fantastic. Next was Jackson Riker versus Elias.
Yeah, the Symphony of Destruction match.
Yeah.
That's few of these actually, and they've all involved Elias. So he should he should know how these matches work. But there was a few spots in that, like when he threw him into the drums and that, with all the pokey bits, you could sort of see that they went into Elias quite a bit.
Yeah.
And it was what it was. They've been having a bit of a back and forth lately. Riker's really good. I mean, he's definitely showed what he's capable of, and he looks the part. Whether or not that translates into him on commentary, on the mic, and that is another matter. Some good points in that match as well. So,
yeah, I thought, to be honest, I thought it was a fantastic match.
Yeah,
I really did. I thought it was a fantastic match. They both did it really, really well. Really good match. I did. I absolutely loved that, I must admit. And I'm happy with Riker picking up the win. But you are right, though. I think it is the third one. I remember him having one against Braun, and I remember him having one against someone else, and might have been Baron Corbin or something like that. And Strowman came out and interrupted the match. Strowman came out playing the cello. But he was playing the cello as a guitar.
Yeah.
Jackson Riker, I said a few weeks ago, I made the point, he was obviously part of a tag team with Wesley Blake and someone else called the Forgotten Sons. They were on NXT. They then got brought up to SmackDown, but just the two of them without Riker. But they were on NXT for a few years, and he was the forgotten one within the Forgotten Sons.
Yeah.
It was always them two, and him just stood ringside. He was never involved. I don't know why, because this is the first time we've actually seen him wrestle, and to me, he looks great.
He looks great, yeah, cool stuff. Yeah, he looks brilliant.
So happy with that. Bit of a weird one next, mate. Bit of a weird one. Mansoor and Ali.
Yeah, teaming up. they've been on and off a while. I think they've had a couple of matches on main event, and we saw them recently, didn't we? Sort of trying to team up, and then obviously Ali threw him out. It was in the was there a battle royale? I think they were in, weren't they? The kickoff Raw. I think they were in it recently. Can't remember when. I remember it though, because he threw Mansoor through. Ali threw Mansoor out, and then Ali got thrown out himself. But
yeah.
They were sort of teaming up. There's been a few times when they've been backstage, and he's been sort of like, "This is what I've been trying to tell you. Yeah. You need to do this, that, and the other." And like I said, I think they've been sort of on and off on Raw and on main event. So they're obviously looking to team them up as a tag team.
Let's see what happens. Let's just, see what happens. But yeah, I've seen a few people on Twitter. I mean, I've seen 2 tweets, and to be fair, both of them were by 2 Muslim lads, and they said, like, are WWE literally just sticking the 2 Muslims together in a tag team? Like, is that and I get it is a bit like, you need to be a little bit more diverse, but
yeah,
I think the difficulty is I think I haven't got a racist bone in my body, but I think sometimes people can see racism when it isn't there. 2 people that have the same skin color visually look like they mesh as a team. So Jinder and his 2 mates are Indian. In the Hurt Business, everyone that was surrounding Lashley were black. The Viking Raiders are both white. I think for whatever reason, I think it does look, like you can see that they have. You don't.
And the Tower as well, dressed up like a ninja.
Yeah, like skin color aside, when you look at 2 human beings, but when you look at them, you don't know whether they have anything in common. We're just looking at 2 people on TV. We don't know if they're friends, if they're close, if they've got things in common. But it goes along the way. If you're trying to build a tag team, at least them being of the same race, regardless of what that skin color is, at least you can see something. You can see that they have in common is that they both have the same skin color. They're both, probably, I'm assuming, with them both being Muslim, they both have the same religious beliefs. They probably both live the life, a very similar way. So I get it from one standpoint, but I do also. Then you've got like MSK, where one is black and the other one's white. I think maybe there is something there. I don't think it is always racism though, but I do think that sometimes there does need to be a little bit more diversity. I mean, but then again, saying that, one of the biggest tag teams in our childhoods, the Dudley Boys, one's white, one's black.
Yeah.
So,
it all depends. Maybe they've said, there might be something backstage to it, but I'm wondering whether Ali said something that I'll work with him, we get along and all that stuff. We don't really know. But it does look like that when you're looking at it, like you're saying, visually, it does look like that.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
See where it goes with that. Sheamus promo backstage with Sonya Deville and Adam Pearce. Good promo. Sheamus doing Sheamus. Sheamus likes things, He's good at it.
Yeah.
And then obviously Charlotte cut a promo. I think obviously the fans started chanting Becky again, and you could see that she was like, Becky's at home breastfeeding, but it was like, oh you bitter salty bitch.
Becky Lynch put out?
No.
She put out, I am breastfeeding at home and still dominating the women's division.
Oh, you gotta love her. You gotta love her.
I'm at home breastfeeding and I'm still dominating the women's division. And she's not even been there, so hard to argue when they're chanting her and everything else. So
look, I'm trying to not swear as much. They've bloody missed her.
Yeah,
they really have missed her.
She was massively. She was at Money in the Bank because she posted photos on Instagram.
Right.
She's been posting videos and photos and stuff of her working out. So she's there. She's been at the PC Centre as well. So she's getting ready.
Well, look, both me and you follow Sean Ross Sapp from Fightful on Twitter. You know, I'll give him a shout out. He's always, you know, pretty much spot on with his information, and he doesn't talk shit. And he said a few days ago that people are billing this as, oh my God, this weekend, Friday Night SmackDown, Money in the Bank on Sunday, and Raw on Monday. The surprises, the shocks, you know, the returns. Oh my God, I can't wait. And he's like, it's not just this weekend. Like,
exactly, yeah.
You've got probably a month.
We already know. Yeah, we already know one of them thanks to WWE Shop Zone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So we know that that's coming at some point, whether that's on SmackDown or further on. But we know it's coming. Why? You know.
Look, Rock will turn up at SummerSlam. I think Undertaker, I think, will turn up at some point. I think Stone Cold will. Don't be surprised if Triple H and Shawn Michaels come out as DX, because that always gets the fans.
Yeah.
You know, there's going to be a lot of surprises. Becky Lynch, I think, within the next, it probably makes more sense for Becky to turn up on SmackDown.
Yeah.
Purely because Seth's on SmackDown and they're married and they're now on the road again. So married couples, WWE, try and make sure that they're on the same brand.
That's why they've traded Naomi to SmackDown.
Yeah.
So after Money in the Bank, I think it was Monday morning, reports have come out that she had been drafted to SmackDown.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
People were saying that opens up a lot of doors for her. Another opportunity, another one for Bayley, but also, could she join the Bloodline? Could she be the female Bloodline? Because, you know,
that's what I'd do. But I would have her wrestle. I would have her involved. I would have her. You know, if
it would mean turning her heel, which they've not done yet. So
I think it's time. I would. I'd have a join the Bloodline, definitely. I think it'd be good for her, be good for her career. Yeah. Obviously during that Charlotte promo, Rhea comes out and she gets a rematch, which a lot of people were a bit like. I'm sure. I actually turned around to Nat and I went, Kev's gonna love this. He loves the Charlotte Rhea rivalry. She's on.
I mean, we had it all through. We had the terribleness of it through the Thunderdome. They did have a good match at Money in the Bank.
Yeah.
And then we've got it again. So yeah. I think this is like there's so many now. I've lost count. That's how many times they fought for each other.
No, it's a joke. Yeah, it is.
Each other in like in a space of like 3 months. It's you know what I mean?
It's ridiculous. No, I'm with you. It's hopefully it's put to bed. I mean. I really, really think that there's something there. I think that I don't know if it's that they don't like each other or whether they've had like, you know, a bit of a woman code backstage where they've said, "Can you hit me?" You know, that rivalry feels very, very real. Now they're either both extremely good at the job or that rivalry is real. And I said to you a couple of weeks ago, when. A few weeks ago on Raw, when Charlotte did the draping leg lock over the apron, when she let go, she stood up and as Rhea was obviously writhing in agony, she's going, like taking the mick. And Rhea really throws her foot out and Charlotte has to jump back, but it didn't look like a stage kick. It didn't look like the sort of kick that you would see where that to me looked like Rhea was aiming to boot her in the face. And that was coming a week after Rhea busted Charlotte's nose. She punched her square in the nose, and when you look at that punch, she meant to punch her square in the nose.
Yeah,
you know, the only thing I can think of is Rhea has stated publicly that she changed her look so drastically because when she appeared on the Mae Young Breakout tournament, that everyone said, "Oh, she's exactly like Charlotte, long blonde hair." Very, very similar in style to Charlotte's, you know, similar height, muscle.
Yeah, when she was in NXT UK, she was the same as well, wasn't she? She only changed her look.
Yeah. So I think because she did have a look of Charlotte. I think maybe Rhea's got something in the red where she's like fucking nothing like Charlotte. Who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows? But to me, if I was a betting man, I think there's something there. I don't think they like each other. Things have happened that are just too real for me. I've got a little thingy for you because next was Natalya and Tamina versus Shayna and Nia.
Yeah. So Nia Jax put those things and obviously nothing. I don't know why they were fighting them. Obviously, getting into the match, Reggie costs the match again on Shayna Baszler, and I think they made the right call there. They said, she said, look, Nia, it's him or me, and she picked Shayna, which I think is brilliant.
Yeah.
Gets rid of bloody Reginald because I don't know what was going on there. I mean, he's been done by Carmella and now Nia, and then wins the 24/7 title.
I mean, do you know what? To be fair though, mate, he is an ex-Cirque du Soleil gymnast.
Yeah.
And that flip he did off the steps. Oh my God.
He does. We've seen it before though. He's very athletic. He knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think he's now, like my wife said actually. Kirst said, she said, he's going to be another one of those goons that runs round.
Yeah.
And I said, yeah.
They need to get rid of the 24/7 title now. It's run its course. It's just
they need to do more with it, if you know what I mean. Instead of doing this running gimmick thing, they need to have proper matches for it. Because the 24/7 title started out like that. I mean, it was Crash Holly that invented the 24/7 rules, and it was just that. I mean, every Raw or SmackDown, you'd see him running around and people trying to catch him. I mean, there was the infamous one where he went into the soft play stuff, and they were trying to catch him, and he went down the slide and threw the balls and all that. So they did all that comedy element. But when he lost that title, that's when it moved from being like this comedy one to an actual title where they were defending it every week properly in hardcore matches and stuff like that.
Yeah, with like Mankind and stuff, yeah.
Well, Mankind was the original holder of it, and then they set up a tournament to crown the next one, obviously, and that started off the thing. But Crash Holly was the one. Originally, by then, it was just a normal title, so it was declared under hardcore rules. Crash Holly was the one that declared it 24/7 rules, which then stayed with it.
Yeah.
But when Crash had it, I mean, they did everything with it. I remember him having a match, like I said, in the soft play area at an arcade, in a fun fair, in the crowd. So they did loads of comedy stuff like that, where people were trying to chase him, to try and run after him. So they were running after him, and he was like getting out and ducking under. And so the comedy element of them running around, they've done that before with the hardcore title when it was 24/7 ruling.
Yeah.
And they had people dress up and pretend to be a referee, and then they would turn on him and they would take like a mask off, and it would be someone else, and then they would pin him. But it went back and forth like that. You've got to think Hardcore Holly was, I mean, he's a bit like R-Truth, so I think he was like a 15-time hardcore champion, you know?
Yeah, I don't know. I think it worked better back then. I think, yes, it's provided humour with R-Truth. I think now is the time to get rid of it.
Yeah, what happened with the hardcore title was it got bored like that. People got bored of it quite quickly. So then they moved it on and it became a proper title. So you had people like Jeff Hardy, RVD, Kane, Big Show actually fighting for it. But they were proper matches. So these were proper hardcore matches. But they were still 24/7, you know. So
yeah. I wrote down Reginald has Matrix-like athleticism.
Yeah,
because I mean,
he's very athletic. Yeah,
that flip over where he flips over someone off the steps, unbelievable. And then the way that he just backwards cartwheeled out. Oh my god! Yeah,
and obviously Nia and Shayna are back, which is good. And they look like they're going to teaming. So,
but I wouldn't mind seeing more of that from Reginald.
Yeah,
if they can figure out a way of look, he's not a wrestler. Like I think it's pretty clear that he's not a wrestler.
Yeah.
But he's very, very athletic. He's a fucking Cirque du Soleil gymnast. Like, you got any idea? Like, they don't take anyone. You have to be the best of the best. You know, he's clearly one of the best gymnasts in the world.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if that's where Ricochet learned his trade based off what he did at Money at the Bank. Jesus.
But I think that he's going to become one of those 24/7 goons that runs around with it now.
I honestly think that Kirsty's right. I think she's right. I think that's exactly what they'll do.
Now and then they will whipping the titles back and forth like they do. I don't know why that happened after the match. Why they all come down like that? Maybe for Reginald, or maybe I don't know. But it just seems a bit weird at the end that they all ran down and whatever.
Yeah, but to be fair, I've seen something. I don't know if you know this. Do you know who has taken the most losses so far in 2021?
No.
Shayna.
That doesn't surprise me.
Now, this is a woman who dominated NXT.
Yeah, not just a little bit, absolutely dominated the women's division for nearly 2 years.
They had to bring Rhea Ripley up from NXT UK to give her someone, because she'd ate and spat back out every single woman on that roster. Yeah. She's the most dominant NXT champion since Asuka. She was absolutely phenomenal. Then they brought her up to Raw. She bit Becky Lynch. Becky wanted to drop the belt at Mania to Shayna. She knew that her and Seth was trying for a baby, and she said, "Let me drop the belt to Shayna." And whoever it was, Vince or whoever, probably Vince, said, "No, we don't. We're not happy with Shayna as women's champion." Why? She was a world-class NXT champion. She's a nasty, horrible fucker. She's a great heel.
You got to think. I don't think they watch NXT. I don't think any of the guys up there watch NXT.
By the looks of it, mate, fucking Vince McMahon doesn't watch NXT.
No, they don't.
But NXT is the best one out of all of them. NXT is the best one. So
in
viewerships
and not in sales and stuff like that. It isn't, and that's the problem. In like wrestling ability for us older fans, yeah. But in terms of everything else, it isn't, and it's that's proof in like.
Why though?
And I don't know.
Why is nobody watching it?
Someone made a good comment about this and said that Raw and SmackDown with the viewerships like they are, it proves that people don't really enjoy the wrestling aspect, because NXT is wrestling and it gets half of the views. It doesn't do very well on the sales and stuff like that. Yeah, all of us are like, oh, it's the best show going. But in terms of like engagement and numbers, it isn't. And everyone's like, everyone goes, you should watch AEW, it's good. And AEW coming across the same thing. Their viewerships, though it went up this week because that was a pay-per-view sort of style. They're concentrating on the wrestling aspect of it, but it's not moving their viewership because people want the entertainment value.
And SmackDown and Raw was world class this week. If SmackDown and Raw is that level every week, no one's gonna have a problem with it.
Yeah.
And to be fair, I didn't do anything that special. So it's not. I can't see any reason why they can't keep this level up. Yeah.
But it's an interesting thing. Like I said to you, like we'll get onto it. What's the next one?
Well, I wrote down why announce Cross. Why say Cross is making his debut?
Yeah, they announced
tonight. Why? Like I'd understand it if it was next week, because then fans of NXT will go, Karrion Kross is debuting on Raw.
Yeah.
Next week, I watched. But to announce it half an hour before he came out.
Well, we knew he was coming up, and he wasn't with Charlotte.
That pissed me off and all.
So we know that's happening. So we knew that he was coming up without Charlotte. It's obviously happened. But like, we'll get onto it. Actually, we'll get onto it now. As you said, he's having a match with Jeff Hardy.
Yeah.
But as you said, there was zero reaction. Everyone was like, "Who's this?" Yeah. And that's the problem that WWE have right now, is that almost half of the people watching Raw and SmackDown do not watch NXT. And people are like, well, who's that?
But then answer me this. Answer me this, because the only thing I can think of why Karrion Kross isn't getting a massive pop is if people don't know who he is. Yeah. Because if you know who he is, you're gonna scream, because he is that fucking good. He is amazing. He's unbelievable. Good. If you watch NXT, you know how good he is, right? But when Keith Lee debuted, he got a massive pop. When Kevin Owens debuted, when his music hit and he confronted Cena in the ring, the roof nearly blew off. Everyone knew who Kevin Owens was.
Yeah. So how long had Keith Lee been in NXT before being called up?
It weren't long. It was only about a year.
Was it a year? Was it that short? I don't think. Yeah, but Karrion Kross is the same. He's not been there a year.
He's been there 18 months.
Oh, he's been there 18 months.
Karrion Kross has been there. He's been there probably the same amount of time that Lee was there before Lee got called up.
Oh, really? Yeah. I thought Keith Lee was there a longer time. I always thought Keith Lee was there for a while.
No, because his debut match on NXT was was against Dijakovic, right. and it was about 12 months after that he won the NXT title, and then a few weeks later he dropped it, and then he came up to Raw. So
I don't know. I don't know. Then I don't know, but I thought it's because Kross maybe not been there long. But yeah, like I said, not a lot of people watch NXT.
But do you know what, mate? Honestly, at this rate, Adam Cole has been there years, right? If he came up, is he going to get a pop?
Well, this is it.
But I understand them debuting him on Raw, right? Because it's a trial run. They wanted to know how the fans would react to it, and to be honest, I wouldn't be surprised if he isn't called up now, because he didn't get any reaction.
This is his call up. I guarantee on NXT tonight he'll be stripped of the title or lose it some way.
He might get stripped for putting his hands on Joe. But let me ask you this: they brought him up without Scarlett. The entrance doesn't look good at all without Charlotte. Without Scarlett.
Yeah.
But let me just ask you this: they did a promo showing us who Karrion Kross was, and then when the promo ended, Kross was stood at the top of the ramp. So I'm just throwing it out there. Did he get a bigger reaction that we didn't see because he was already out? He was already stood at the top of the ramp.
Because I think the crowd would have still been chanting because he was stood there for a while. He came up, even when he lost the match, there was no real.
There was no.
Yeah. And he's like, "I've got an NXT title," and everyone was like, "Who are you?" And
he's one of the best there.
Thing is, as well, is that they're obviously setting him up with a feud with Jeff Hardy, because it was a roll up, it was a quick pin.
He cheated. He used the ropes.
And Jeff and Kross said, "You're going to regret that." Well, you're going to regret that.
He used the ropes, which to me, I was a bit like, Jeff Hardy doesn't cheat to get wins.
The crowd loved it. They all cheered for him, and they loved it. He's got his music back.
Yeah.
And it was, I would have booked it differently. I would have put him against like Grand Metalik or someone like that.
Yeah. And have him win clean.
But to have Jeff Hardy come back with his original music that everyone loved, and then for him to lose against Karrion Kross, who he's the NXT champion. He's the world champion.
Mate, he's unbeaten.
Yeah.
He's unbeaten in NXT.
His debut match, he's lost. So he got a loss now.
I don't get it. I don't understand. I don't understand the no reaction from the fans. The only thing I can think of is that people aren't watching NXT. If you're not watching NXT, fucking watch it, because it's the best one out of all of them.
Lots and lots of people do not watch NXT. I don't know why, but lots and lots of people don't watch.
Do you think it's like? Because to be honest, it took me a few years to start watching NXT purely because I'd always watched Raw and SmackDown. So I watched the two that I always watched, Roland. But then it got to the point where I had to watch NXT because people was coming up and debuting, like Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. And because when Kevin Owens came up, I wasn't watching it. But then when I did start watching it, then when Finn Balor debuts and Samoa Joe debuts, then you're like, fucking come on, because you've just spent 2 years loving them in NXT, and then they get the call up to the main roster, and you're already invested in them. Yeah.
But you can tell by the viewership that at least more than half people who are watching Raw and SmackDown are not watching NXT. Whether that is because it's just one of those shows that's on, and people are like, well, it's developmental. I don't really need to watch it because when they're all ready, they will come up, and then I'll watch them then, sort of thing. I don't know, but yeah, there's a lot of people not watching it, and that there was just, it was like a bit. It was like, why ain't the crowd doing anything? They're so quiet because
even when he was saying Jeff Hardy, you're going to regret that. Everyone's like, and
yeah. But him saying that also sets up a feud with Jeff Hardy. So I'm wondering if this could be quite good for him or not. But yeah, it's just yeah.
I mean, I just want to put it out there, Carrion. I love you. I love you very much.
We'll see how it all like I said, we'll see it all pans out. But and when you come up to WWE, your NXT status is nothing. It means nothing.
Do you think that that's it now for Carrion, or do you think he can get the fans on side by his talent?
They're going to put him with Jeff. We'll probably see a back and forth between the two of them to see if they can build him, because I think that's what they need to do. And someone keeps I've heard it a lot as well on Twitter actually since that happened was, oh, enough, they're ruining him. Well, they haven't ruined Keith Lee, they haven't ruined Riddle, they didn't ruin Kevin Owens, they didn't ruin Seth Rollins, so they don't ruin all of them. I think it's how they brought up. So, but
I think it's the determination and drive that they have when they get there. I think the ones that succeed are the ones that go, right, I've been called up, great, what next? I think the ones that aren't as successful are the ones that are kind of just, hey, I've made it.
Yeah.
To be fair, Finn Balor, to be fair to him, actually said something very similar. He said when he got called up and he came, he was just happy to be there.
Yeah.
After his injury, he was just happy to be back on TV and wrestling again.
Have been released, and they've said, once you've got an action figure, you've made it. I've got my own action figure from WWE. I've made it. I can leave now and be happy that I made it enough to have my own action figure and stuff like that. So, like you said, a lot of people are just like, once they're up there, they're like, oh, happy, I'll do whatever you ask, sort of thing.
Yeah, I don't know, mate. I just, are you as gutted for Cross as I am? He deserves better than that.
Yeah, he does deserve better than that. Yes. But like I said, it's not a lot of people know NXT, and that's the problem that WWE have right now, is that they don't know the people from other shows, and that's the problem. Doudrop, another one. Who's this? And people are like, who's this? We know who that is. That's Piper Evan. Jesus Christ! Well, no one else watches it.
Yeah, you're right, mate.
And even though WWE is WWE NXT and WWE NXT UK, it's nothing really to do with them. WWE is Raw and SmackDown. They don't even count loss and wins on main event. You know that.
Mm.
So when I remember once when they said, "Oh, they've got 23 losses in a row," and you're like, "Oh no, actually, I think it was Ricochet." They said, "Oh, he had like 5 losses in a row," and they're like, "No, he won his match recently on main event, so that's wrong." And they're like, "Well, we don't count that because they don't count anything like that."
Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
I'm a massive Karrion Kross fan, and the way that he's been treated, I think he's so wrong, and it proves that clearly Vince, Stephanie, Shane don't give a shit about NXT. They clearly don't care, because Shayna came up, they did things better. Then she's still the only person to enter an elimination chamber match and beat all 5 of her opponents on her own.
I know there was rumours a long time ago going round when they done a load of call-ups before, and Vince was like, "So who in NXT is the best one?" And he was asking people, because obviously I don't think he watches it. So he was asking other people.
Off, mate. I'm sorry, this guy is 2-time NXT champion. He's unbeaten in 18 months. He has walked through Tommaso Ciampa, Adam Cole, Finn Balor, Johnny Gargano. He has sent Samoa Joe night. Like he's ran through anyone that they've put in front of him, anybody
now
easily, and he gets beat off Jeff Hardy. I love Jeff Hardy.
Really
he was my favourite as a kid.
In a really quick match as well, like really quick.
I feel so sorry for him. He's so good, and he's such a fantastic talent. He's massive on NXT, as me and you know.
Yeah.
And Vince has just done him like that. Oh, it annoys me. Anyway, I think we better move on. Otherwise, we'll be here all night talking about my broken heart for my mate Carrion. But last point as well, you've got to bring Scarlett up with him. It doesn't work without her.
Yeah,
it doesn't work without her.
Yeah, I think the next one to be called up is Bronson. I think he's going to SmackDown. I think there was rumours going around that he was going to SmackDown. He tweeted out actually yesterday that he would love to join the Bloodline.
Well, he's Samoan Australian, isn't he? So
someone said that. Someone said, but isn't he Australian?
Well, he's Samoan Australian. So
yeah. Oh yeah.
Sheamus versus Humberto Carrillo.
Yeah. What? Yeah, and easy. Like Sheamus was always going to win. He was never going to lose that. And I think they've got a program coming up with him and Priest. So I think Priest is probably going to be the next US champion,
which I'd love.
Sheamus. So, but I think that's what it's leading to.
Hey, I would absolutely love that, mate. I think Damian Priest is fantastic. The only point that I have really to make on that is it's very unlike Sheamus to make a mistake at anything, but specifically in the ring, it's very unlike him to make a mistake in the ring, and he did.
Yeah,
he did, and he made it look. He made it look clumsy. He made it look a bit amateur, if I'm being honest, and it's very unlike Sheamus. You know, at the end of the match, he headbutted Humberto Carrillo wearing a steel face mask, so Carrillo's got to sell that. And for some reason, Sheamus just runs at the ropes to come back and broke kick him. And he gets halfway across, realizes that Carrillo's still on the mat, stops, turns around, walks back to the rope, and then goes again. And it looked fucking awful. And I've seen people blaming Humberto Carrillo. That was not Carrillo's fault. That was Sheamus's fault. Humberto Carrillo is trying to sell taking a steel mask to the face. You're not going to get headbutted by a steel mask and just go, "Oh, that stung."
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Reginald got headbutted by Nia and got straight back up and won a title.
Yeah, I think Carrillo did a good job of selling a headbutt by a steel mask, and it was Sheamus who was too eager.
Yeah.
So yeah. It was a good MVP promo. When Lashley stood in the ring, we know how good MVP is on the mic. Obviously, Lashley has an open challenge.
Yeah.
And Mr. Bask in his glory is back.
But I don't know if you noticed. I noticed a few times that he looked very like he was catching his breath all the time.
Mm.
And he didn't seem his normal self. I don't know what it was. He just seemed a little bit more weaker than normal. And when he was outside the ring as well, you could see him sort of just hunched over, sort of like going, "Oh, I need a minute, sort of like that. Something's not right there, but
yeah, his stamina levels aren't great. But do you know what I've got to say? Now Keith Lee's back, I hope they bring his fiancée back. The women need Mia Yim. They need
apparently she's going to SmackDown though,
So that means that Lee's probably being drafted. I mean, what did you think on them bringing Lee back is a big deal, right? Like bringing Keith Lee back is a big deal. Like, I loved it. I thought it was a great surprise. I weren't expecting it, but
there was no big crowd reaction.
They changed his music again. Why couldn't he keep his original music?
That's why when you look at Bobby Lashley, he's looking at the screen, he's like, and then he hears Bask, and he's like,
"Oh right."
At first, like the music's hitting, he's like, "Who's this?"
But to be fair, that was why the fans didn't pop. It kind of like the cheers went off at different intervals.
Yeah.
Because they didn't know that. The only reason why I knew it was him was because of the green lights.
Right, yeah.
That was the only reason why I knew it was him. But yeah, he didn't get the reaction that he deserved, but he got beat relatively easily as well. Like, this is fucking Keith Lee. Come on.
Yeah.
He should be. I know how good Lashley is, but he shouldn't be beating Lee so easily.
I think the only one that he can't get into is Hurt Lock.
Yeah, it's too big.
These shoulders are too broad to pick up like this. And so he can't do it. It's not big enough. Also, as well, did you see in that match, you know, when they were outside, Lashley went to pick up Keith Lee and couldn't pick him up. He had to pick him up twice. He was struggling to lift him. Yeah. And he had to use the barrier to hoist Lee up on and then hoist him up again. But and then he sort of stumbled as well to put him against the post. He sort of stumbled like he was struggling, like Lashley was struggling to pick him up.
He's a fucking unit, isn't he?
Yeah.
It's a unit.
Yeah. But I was surprised by that. He struggled to pick up Keith Lee, and Keith Lee didn't seem like you're saying, his stamina levels. There was something there, it just wasn't there.
But what do you think about him? It's a big deal. What do you think about Lee losing so easily?
It sort of strengthens Bobby Lashley, obviously, with who come out next. You know, with and not only that, he beat Keith Lee with a spear. So it was sort of like, you know Goldberg was coming back, sort of thing.
Did you find Lashley's reaction interesting?
Yeah. When he got into his face, he goes, "You're next," and he went, let's go. And like MVP was sort of backing him off. You mean like that?
No, before, like when Goldberg's music hit, he looks around and he is a bit like what the fuck's going on, and he actually says, "What the fuck?"
Yeah.
Like, so I don't think sometimes that they're told who is. I think they're told someone, like I can't remember who it was, but someone had said that Roman was told someone's coming out at the end of the match, and they told Edge and Seth to take the fight into the crowd to get out of the way, so obviously Cena could come down. But the rumors were, what I heard was that they weren't told that it was Cena.
Right.
And I think they do that quite a lot because they want especially from the commentators, they want a genuine reaction from the commentators, but they want a genuine reaction from the superstar. They let them know someone's coming out at the end, so they know to stay in there, and you know something's coming. I don't think Lashley knew, because he's like, "What the fuck?" What I found weird, and to me, it didn't feel like a work, is when he turns to MVP when he knows that the camera's on him, and he goes, "Really, this motherfucker?"
Yeah.
Why would you say that? Like, what if he knew that Goldberg was coming out and confronting him, and he knew that they were working? You know, that to me felt like he was like, it felt like he was saying, "I don't want to work with this fucking dangerous prick."
Yeah. Well, he doesn't. He's always wanted a match with Brock Lesnar. That's one of the things that he's always talked about.
Yeah.
He was going to do Brock Lesnar.
Yeah, but getting back with
they couldn't get a deal done, apparently. So they went with their back, which was Goldberg. So Brock Lesnar is apparently going to be coming, but Goldberg's next, obviously. But it's going to be an interesting.
Look, I love Goldberg, and like we said on the Money in the Bank review show yesterday, we both love Goldberg, but we're not stupid. We both know he's a dangerous motherfucker. He's he's dangerous, and he hurts people. He's ended a few people's careers. He's put countless people on the shelf for months and months on end. He's dangerous. That to me felt like Bobby went, really, this motherfucker. It was like he was saying, I don't want to work with him. It's dangerous. Whereas us, did you hear the fans? The fans fucking loved it because it's Goldberg. Us as fans, I think us as fans fucking love Goldberg. I think people that have to work with him go, fucking heard about you. You're dangerous. Yeah. You hurt people.
Yeah, but people still work with him. So, but yeah.
But to be fair, they don't unless you're a Roman Reigns or a Seth Rollins, or you have to be that level. You know, you have to be like on Roman Reigns level. Randy Orton, for example. Randy Orton could say, I'm not working with him. Yeah. Right? I don't think Bobby Lashley's in that position where he can turn around and say, I don't want to work with him, because Vince would go, well, fucking tough. I pay your wages, you do what I say. Yeah. Because CM Punk said the exact same thing. Yeah. CM Punk was asking for time off for about 12 months, and Vince was like, oh, just give me another couple of weeks, just finish this run, finish this rivalry, and you can blah, blah, blah. And it was about 12 months, and then he gave him 3 weeks off, and he had concussions, he had all sorts of injuries that he wanted to heal up. 3 weeks later, Vince rang him and said, can you come back? Ryback is returning tonight. Will you work with him? And Punk is like, Ryback is fucking dangerous. He's already injured me. I don't want to work with Ryback. He's injured. And Vince McMahon went, well, fucking tough. I pay your wages. You're under contract for my company, and I'm telling you, you're working with Ryback. He came back, worked with Ryback. What happened? Ryback went to body slam him through a table, missed the table, and Punk landed head first onto the concrete. He threw him over the table, and he just landed head first into the concrete.
Yeah.
You know, so I don't think unless you're a Randy Orton or a Roman Reigns or someone on that level who's too valuable to the company to just get rid of, I think you don't have a choice. At the end of the day, Vince McMahon's your boss. If he tells you that this is who you're working with, this is who you're working with.
Yeah, yeah.
And I don't think Lashley wants to work with Goldberg.
Yeah. So, well, it's happening now. I think that's what's set out for SummerSlam. So, yeah, I'm going to look forward to it. It's going to be interesting to see how they move it going forward, whether he's going to appear each week or not, Goldberg.
Yeah. I'm really looking. Like I said, if you're a fan, you're going to really enjoy it. If you're working with Goldberg, most people don't enjoy working with him because he's dangerous, and he always has been. Next was Jinder Mahal promo with Veer and Shanky.
Thank you, Veer. Yeah.
Ring. And then McIntyre turns up.
McIntyre turns up and destroys Shaki with a chair. 2 chairs.
Yeah.
He breaks one chair and then breaks the other chair.
Well, I don't actually know what it's called, because to me it sounded like the commentators was calling him Shaky. But when I Googled it, WWE on WWE's YouTube, it says Shanky. 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 So, so fair play to him. Fair play to him.
He took some shots there.
Well, he took God knows how many the first time, and then on the second time round, he took 20.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, yeah. McIntyre didn't hold back on them neither. He really slammed them down.
I don't know. Poor Shanky.
They got, they say you got to pay your dues. So,
do you reckon after the camera went off him, McIntyre went, "Welcome to the big leagues, kid"?
Yeah. I reckon that's going to lead to some sort of stipulation match at SummerSlam between McIntyre and Jinder. Maybe like a TLC match or something like that. Yeah,
I agree. We've already spoke about the Cross and Jeff Hardy. Let's not go over that all ground again. Don't open up that wound again, Kevin, please. I'm really sorry. You the last couple of weeks have been a little bit protective of her and have tried to defend her. Eve Marie is fucking awful.
Eve Marie.
She's fucking awful, mate.
She was only talking.
She can't even fall. All she had to do was fall over. She can't even do that. That is the most, I don't even know what to say, mate. But you know,
maybe it's her character. You've got to think it's her character, and if that's what she's got to do to make us think like that, then she's doing it well.
Yeah.
You know?
Look, at the end of the day, Bruce Willis is one of the best actors of all time, and Bruce Willis said that she is one of the most talented actresses, is young actresses, because that was her first film. And Bruce said, I've not seen someone with no experience be that good. She's very, very talented. So she clearly does have talents. That trip was fucking awful.
Maybe it was something
Kev, what's the first thing that you learn in wrestling school is how to take a bump?
Yeah,
the first thing you learn is how to fall. It's literally the fucking rule number one is we will teach you how to fall safely without hurting yourself. Did you see how cartoony that fall looked?
They were in the playground, remember, as well. So, and Lily was sitting on a swing. So,
Kirsty, your husband fancies her. Your husband fancies Eva Marie. That's the only explanation that I can think of as to why you're defending. I like Natalie. I like Natalie. She, the woman, the real girl on Total Divas and other stuff, and you know, I've listened to her interviews.
He was annoying on there as well.
Yeah, she was annoying. I like her. I like her. This. Whatever I've seen her do is Eva Marie's awful.
Up to something with Doudrop, what a silly name, but it's obviously leading up to something with her and Alexa.
Yeah, so, I just, mate, since she's come back, I've not seen one thing that makes me think, oh, that's why they've brought you back and got rid of a Ruby Riott. I've not seen anything. She's not. She doesn't do anything in the ring because she can't and she never could, but she's got all the talents. I've already said this. There's nothing wrong with her being a valet. Why can't she be Doudrop's manager? What you know, she's not got the voice to be on the mic because she's so high-pitched and nasally. It's like nails on a chalkboard. No one wants to hear her on a mic.
People said that about Billie Kay, and then we ended up loving it in the end. You got to think, I remember it. Billie Kay used to come out and everyone used to go, oh, I just want to rip my eyeballs out and my ears off because she's awful. And at the end, before they released her, everyone was like, she's the best thing on SmackDown. It's great when she comes out and starts giving them resumes.
But she proved that she had comedic timing. Maybe Eva's being given bad scripts. I don't know. But, mate, that was a basic fall, and she couldn't have made it look any worse. Like you can defend her in the sense of they're not allowing her to wrestle. That's not her fault. We know that they overscript everybody apart from the ones that have special allowances like McIntyre and Orton and Edge and Heyman, the ones that are allowed to cut promos without scripting. Cena, hers are clearly scripted. So again, you've kind of got to give her a little bit of leeway.
It's almost like trip. I'm wondering whether they're like just pretend to trip or something, like Lily done it.
Yeah.
And maybe they're just like, we'll do a fall, but make it look stupid. So it looks like Lily done it or something.
But why though? Because if they're making it look like Lily has tripped her up, like. There was a way in which she could have fought, that she could have fell to make it look better, to make it look like something tripped her up. It didn't look like something tripped her up. She was walking off and then she just stuck her own foot up in the air and then just kind of like, she didn't even fall forwards. She like went down onto a knee and then went forward because it was awful. It was awful. Like you can defend her for other stuff. That was shocking.
Yeah.
So,
what was next?
Next was the main event, Rhea and Charlotte.
Yeah. Do you know what? It was better than Money in the Bank, I felt.
I'll be honest, Kev, I missed half of it because my Skybox is a dick.
It was fine on my one. It was near the end. Mine went off when Nikki was celebrating and it came back.
Well, mine went off. I don't know how much.
She hit her with a belt, didn't she? She hit her with a belt on the outside.
I don't know how much we missed. Rhea was stood on the outside, and Charlotte ran around the ring and like shoulder tackled the back of Rhea's knee, and it went off there. And when it came back on, it literally came back on as Charlotte hit her with a belt.
Yeah, she had obviously grabbed the belt and she hit her on the ramp to get the DQ, which is obviously Rhea wins, but Charlotte still retains. But I love the fact that then Rhea went back to her and sort of done her move, and then Nikki came. I was shocked. I was like, "Oh my god, is Nikki going to cash in and actually win?" And she won, and the crowd went mad, went really bad. Killian Cross actually put out a tweet straight after saying, "This shows you that with determination and your own dreams, you can actually make it." And he put, "I'm so proud of her, considering she made up this gimmick, she pitched it, they greenlit it, and now they're running with it to the point where she's now the Raw Women's Champion."
Really happy with her. Can I be honest?
Yeah.
Fucking crossbody. Come on.
Yeah.
Come on. Like I'm sorry. And that was Nikki. That was Nikki's fault. And it was the reason why for me it was so bad was Rhea's Riptide is so impressive. It's a really good looking finisher. So Rhea attacks her, hits her with the Riptide, makes she's out cold. She then rolls her into the ring and Charlotte doesn't move.
I'm wondering if some pointers from obviously Shane Helms, because obviously he works with WWE backstage. The Hurricane. I know they released him, but I'm wondering if they brought him back. Did they bring him back at all? I can't remember.
I don't think they have. The reason why the crossbody was so bad, Kev, was because Rhea hit the Riptide outside of the ring, where there's she's outside of the ring, right at the steps, and then threw her into the ring and then kind of went to Nikki. There you go. Now I know that there was I get that Nikki's thinking I need to do something else here because I've had to pass the ref the briefcase. He's got to go over, tell Mike Rome she's cashing in. Mike Rome says Nikki ASH is cashing in her Money in the Bank briefcase. Ding, ding, ding. There's enough, but Charlotte hadn't moved. She was just lay there out cold.
Yeah.
Just go for the pin. That would have been better than what they did.
She's done a crossbody while she was laying there still, like a frog splash.
Like a frog splash. But when she climbed the rope, I thought, here we go, frog splash, 1, 2, 3, perfect. What I'm saying is, if she'd have gone straight for the pin, that would have worked better than what she did. Because Charlotte is out cold, not moving, right? And the camera's on her. Nikki climbs up and she's going, get up, get up, get up. Get up, please get up. I'm looking at Dick now. Get up. Charlotte, please. Charlotte, get up. Charlotte!
And then she does a crossbody and wins. I'm really happy for her winning because I hope now that she wins. She's got the title and she has it for a while. That's what I'm hoping. That this just wasn't a fluke, that she's going to keep this going.
Kev, the crossbody doesn't work there because Charlotte is selling the Riptide, but she's selling the Riptide from outside of the ring, and then Rhea's picked her up like a bag of shit and threw and she's not moved. Charlotte's selling there is fantastic, right? Nikki screaming at her, get up. So now she's had to wake herself up, stumble back to her feet, and it's not even a good crossbody. And you can't. Charlotte's positioning it isn't great because she weren't expecting it. It wasn't a fantastic crossbody, but now you've got Nikki lay sprawled out and her eyes closed as if she's out cold again. What, you fucking knocked out cold from a crossbody?
Well, the thing is, that's her finisher, and it's the same. When they cash in, they have to do their finishers. I don't know whether you've watched when they've done their cash-ins, but a lot of them do that now. And it started with Seth Rollins, actually. It was because obviously, Roman, in the WrestleMania match, Roman Reigns had hit Brock Lesnar with the super punch.
Yeah.
Brock Lesnar was sprayed out. He was out in a star sort of. Brock Lesnar was out. Seth comes in, grabs it, and goes, I'm cashing in, and waits, then does the stomp, then pins him. Why not just pin him? He was out cold. Brock Lesnar wasn't moving.
But the stomp finishes it. The stomp is a finisher that you look at it and go, well, that's done. Mate, that crossbody didn't even look good.
No, but it's her finisher. It's one of her finishers. She's won with it before. So
I like Nikki Cross. Get a better finisher.
Yeah. A powerful. It needs to be a powerful one.
It has to be something I'm not when has the crossbody in the last 10 years ever won a match clean? Like, you've got to think, yes, people have hit a crossbody and then they've like crossbody into a roll up, but it's not like they've beat them clean, because as soon as they kick out, they're like, oh, what the fuck? Do you know what I mean? They've caught them. They've not like knocked them out. They've not incapacitated them.
The reason I'm saying about the Hurricane is because that used to be one of his finishes. He used to have two. He used to have that one and the choke slam. Both looked really weak. But remember, the Hurricane was a tag team champion and cruiserweight champion, so it worked. But
what I'm saying is the crossbody there doesn't work, because Charlotte's had to go from being out cold to then wake herself up, stand up, get hit by a shit crossbody as well. I'm not blaming Nikki for that. I think Charlotte's positioning was all over the place because she weren't expecting it, and the crossbody hit low. It kind of like hit in a.
I'm wondering whether they are able to do that. I'm wondering because she came out of her cape on. If you didn't notice.
Yeah.
So normally she takes it off when she comes in the ring, didn't she? But she had it on. I'm wondering whether they go, well, go for something on the top rope. Go for a crossbody, because as you're going through the air, it would look good visually because your cape will be fluttering. So I'm wondering whether they said that to her.
I think you were right. I think hit a frog splash. The crossbody there, even if it's a good crossbody, it's not going to put Charlotte down.
No.
It doesn't look like that's good. If she'd have hit the crossbody and then straight into a roll up and Charlotte's like trying to kick out but couldn't quite manage to kick out, that's fine. But Charlotte sold that crossbody like she was not clean out. And I'm sorry, that's never knocking you out.
Yeah.
Like, it hit her like there, but only like one half of it. Unfortunately, because of, the way that it happened, I think the positioning of both wasn't bang on, and the crossbody doesn't work anyway. But even though they did it, the crossbody didn't really hit flush.
Yeah,
that's my problem. But I agree. Run with Nikki now, and let's see what she can do. And do you know what? We keep saying the fans are back. The kids are back as well. Now we're big wrestling fans, right? But my daughter isn't old enough to understand yet. Your two are, and your two are into wrestling. Kids that are into wrestling are gonna love Nikki Cross.
Yeah. My youngest daughter said, I obviously you won't be watching this show, but there's a show on Nickelodeon called Henry Danger. It's about a superhero, and the guy in that's called Captain Man, and his outfit is near enough identical to Nikki's, and my daughter said, "Oh look, it's Captain Man." So I'll show you. I'll send you a picture over of Captain Man.
Send us a picture. Send us a picture for coming fair. One last point before we wrap up, mate, because it's really important.
Yep.
Charlotte.
Yep.
Why do it like that?
The only reason I can think of is they fucked up on the WWE shop thing where they released her side plates beforehand. So they were like, oh shit, and they were like, well, we've made these side plates that cost a lot of money. We can't not use them. So also as well, it takes the two of them out of the picture. I mean, you heard the crowd on both nights, Monday and Sunday.
They love Nikki.
When Nikki's there, they're living up. So it made sense. It made one because they fucked up, and they were like, "Shit, we can't not go with Charlotte now." And it also fit, and they're sort of thinking, "Well, look at the reaction that Charlotte got. Suck it, middle finger up at the crowd. And the best way of getting her out of that situation, and Rhea as well, is to give it to someone else." And I'm glad. My oldest daughter was watching it. She goes, "Cashing in already?" And I was like, they should be cashing in. They used to cash in on the same night, but they don't anymore. And it's great that they done a cash in as well on the next night, and it was the women's one. So I'm really happy with that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm wondering whether that it's just because they fucked up slightly and they went, the best way forward. I'm with you. I don't know now where Rhea or Charlotte go from here. Other than to go against Nikki, but I don't want her to drop the title. I want Nikki to have a little bit of a run with it.
Yeah, definitely. She I'd say minimum 6 months.
Yeah, I don't want it to be a fluke. I want this. I want her to run
6 months. It's also, mate. I just want to say it's the end of an era. You know, this is our last show on the Nexus.
Yeah. So Sunday, brand new channel.
It's sad in a way, you know, but I think moving forward, because you know we're both passionate about it and we both want to do it.
Moving forward, it'll be easier. Doing videos. You've got a much better setup than me. Obviously, you know, I've got problems with my knee, so if I have to go off for surgery, which might be soon, and my wife's got to have surgery on her hip as well, so it makes it easier if we make our own one, and make a different one just for this. And then if I'm not about, you can still carry on and do it and everything else. So.
Yeah, like I said, mate, it is sad because I think we've both loved doing it on the Nexus YouTube channel. But I think moving forward, it makes sense because both of us plan to be doing this.
Yeah.
Well, permanently. I have no plans of ever stopping doing it. I absolutely love doing it. And I know you're just as passionate about it as I am. So I think it makes sense moving forward because it's just so much easier to find us.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Going to be easier to when searching wise and stuff like that. Obviously, I've built up the Nexus over a couple of years, and obviously doing me builds and gaming videos and stuff like that. But with the wrestling stuff, we need to sort of focus it a bit better, make people find it a bit easier. Just makes sense, like you're saying, just makes sense.
Yeah. Well, thank you for everyone for tuning in over the last. What have we been doing? We've only been going 5 or 6 weeks.
Yeah.
6 weeks. So thank you everyone for tuning in, and we do hope that you come over to the new YouTube channel.
I'll be making posts and putting links and everything on the Nexus, so everyone can still follow and grab and come over to.
Come and subscribe to us on Dan and Kev's Wrestling Talk Show. We will be putting a link in, like I said, for the YouTube channel. Come and subscribe, and if you turn the bell on to all, every time we go live, I'll put a video up, whatever it is, whether it's a review or just a wrestling chat or whatever it is, you'll always get a notification. So thanks everyone for watching.
Yeah, thanks for watching. I've been Kev.
I've been Dan. See you in the next one, guys.
We'll see you at the new one.
We'll see you on the new one, yeah.